Jimmy Tingle and the Test Tube Baby Blues? Do you remember that? Oh, well, it was very rare. Anyway, this is how I got started, folks, performing wherever a crowd would gather. A subway, a house party, a car accident. As a matter of fact, the day Ronald Reagan got shot, I was in the subways up in Harvard Square, Cambridge, Massachusetts, playing my harmonica, trying to entertain total strangers like yourself, just trying to make them laugh. Out of nowhere, a friend of mine comes up and goes, "Jimmy, what the hell are you doing?" I said, "I'm becoming a comedian, man." "Comedian? What are you, nuts? President Reagan just got shot." "Oh, for me, I've been here all afternoon." Then I went on this alcohol and drug-free diet. Unbelievable. Lost weight. Gained brain cells, as I like to read. I couldn't sleep. As I read, folks, do you realize that the United States government wanted to put nuclear warheads on trains, put them underground the country, move them around in case of a national attack to be right there? Oh yeah, that'll work. When's the last time the train's been on time? Figures. Crowd shows up, the cameras are rolling, now the train comes. Where's this train going to anyway? Chicago. Chicago? That's the home of the blues. I'll give it a shot.
From the Vic Theater in Chicago, HBO presents One Night Stand. Starring Jimmy Tingle. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Tingle.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Chicago. All right. The Windy City. Maybe you can help me out with this one. The wind chill factor. What is it? Why do we have to know about it? I mean, how much time, money, and technology goes into finding out exactly how cold we are? I don't want to know exactly how cold I am. You know something, folks? I could live a long and fruitful life without knowing the exact degree to which my lips are going to crack. You see, as far as I'm concerned, let the man come on television. It's cold out today. Do I need a coat? Yes, you do. Thank you. I got a parking ticket the other day here in Chicago. $50. I couldn't believe it. Let me explain. I don't mind putting a quarter in a parking meter, okay, and essentially renting out that piece of land for 15 minutes. That's a good deal. What gets me is if you're 5 minutes late, you get a ticket for like $50. Hey, give me a ticket for a quarter. I'll pay a ticket for a quarter. Where do you get $50? In the course of 4 minutes, someone jacked up the rent 19,000%. It's not right. It's not fair. It doesn't happen in other areas of life. I mean, if your rent is $500 a month, and you're 1 day late, you don't get a bill for $95,000. Come home from work, some guy's towing your house down Main Street. And if you complain to the city officials, which I have, they get mad at you. Listen, Buster, let me tell you something, Mr. Comedian. Let me tell you something. The city, okay, needs the money from the parking tickets to pay for the school department, to pay for the police department, to pay for the fire department. Excuse me there, sir. You need the money from the parking tickets to pay for the school department? I don't understand this relationship at all. Why is the quality of a child's education in direct proportion to his parents' inability to park? Dad, the school needs a computer. Oh, don't worry. I'll leave the car in front of the hydrant. I don't get it, folks. Crime and punishment. I just don't get it. For instance, there's a big push now to bring back the death penalty every place I go. That's the problem with the United States. We're not executing enough people. Had we executed Willie Horton, there would be no savings and loans crisis. And it's so ridiculous, folks. I'm living in New York now. The thing that gets me is they don't want to execute anybody who kills just anybody. You see, you have to kill certain types of people in order to be eligible for death yourself. I'll give you an example. According to this new proposal, if you kill a judge, that's the death penalty. If you kill a politician, that's the death penalty. So I'm saying, well, what if you kill a teacher? Teacher. What subject? So what, the teacher's life isn't worth as much as the judge's life, or worth as much as the politician's life? What are we going to have, execution by occupation? Kill a teacher, that's 30 years. Carpenter, that's 20 years. Dishwasher, 9 years. Illegal alien, 4 years. What if you kill one of the homeless? Oh, you'll have to move the car. See how ridiculous it sounds? It's ridiculous. What if you kill a professional baseball player? Well, it depends what team he played for. I mean, you kill a starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, okay, that's the death penalty. You kill the third base coach for the New York Mets, well, you know, he shouldn't have been on the field. He was asking for it. But crime and punishment, I can never really get it, folks. For instance, the skipper for the Exxon Valdez oil tanker was charged with a misdemeanor. 11 million gallons of oil in the ocean, misdemeanor. Unlawful discharge of oil. Sounds like the man was pumping gas and he slipped. Unlawful discharge of oil. I'm saying, what does an Exxon employee have to do to commit a felony? I suppose if the drunk man breathed on the oil burst into flames and burned the flag, that would be a felony. Now, personally, folks, I feel it is wrong to burn the flag, and I wouldn't burn the flag in a million years. Well, let me ask you a question. When is the last time anybody in this room burned the flag? When is the last time anybody saw anybody burn a flag? Have there been, like, a rash of flag burnings lately? Are Americans walking around going, parking ticket? Where's the flag? Where is it? Bring it out here. Get a real issue, will you, please? Do you realize, folks, that between Ronald Reagan and George Bush, between the both of them, they still can't remember whether or not they were involved in the arms sale to Iran? Hey, fellas, here's a little tip. In the future, right, if you sell guns to people that take other people hostage, jot it down. We don't need a blueprint for world peace. Make a little nose, put it on the refrigerator. And the war on drugs, how's that treating everybody, all right? Hey, just say no. Why didn't I think of that? I could have been the president. President Tingle. President Tingle, what is it? Is that our good friend General Noriega bringing 30 million tons of cocaine into the country? No. Well, we don't have the money to stop the drugs from coming into the country. AIDS research, we don't have the money. Illiteracy, there's no money. Poverty, there's no money. Education, there's no money. The homeless, there's no money. The elderly, there's no money. Star Wars, I think we've got a few bucks. We always had money for the Russians, folks. We spent more on the Russians during the 1980s than we spent on ourselves. Why don't they just move here? It would be cheaper. I mean, millions and millions and millions of dollars on weapons to combat the Russian threat, and along comes Mikhail Gorbachev going, we were kidding. We were kidding. Glasnost, perestroika. And Bush said he's going to reward the Russians. He's going to reward them. We're not just going to throw money at the Soviet Union. We're going to send them technical experts to help them get their economy moving again. We are going to send the Russians technical experts to get their economy moving. We are $3 trillion in debt. What geniuses are we going to send to the Soviet Union? What, a couple of the wizards from the savings and loan industry? I'd like you to meet a guy here to help get your house in order. My son Neil. But now that the wall's down in East Germany, folks, maybe we can tear down some of the walls in this country that separate us as Americans, you know? Walls of ignorance and poverty and racism and sexism. The walls of addiction that separate us as people, folks. You know what I wish, folks? I wish the media would stop telling me that Jesse Jackson is black. I know that! Oh, was Jackson the black candidate? I thought Dukakis was the black candidate. Oh, this this time, I have been saying to myself, you know, a black Greek. What a novel idea. He should get elected just on originality. I mean, somebody's got to tell the media that race has nothing to do with leadership. Just give us a president, you know, a leader. But why is it, folks, every time a black man runs for office in this country, there's a huge controversy. Can a black man be president? Can a black man be governor? Can a black man be senator? It depends on the black guy. I mean, people are different. Can a black man lead a nation? Nelson Mandela? Yes. Mr. T? Absolutely not. People are different. But they do the same thing with women all the time, you know? Like when Geraldine Ferraro was running for the vice presidency, there was a huge controversy. Could a woman handle the pressures of the Oval Office? Could a woman handle the pressures of Washington, D.C.? Would a woman be able to remember whether or not she sold guns to Iran? It depends on the woman. Obviously, some women are fabulous leaders. There's a big controversy right now about women in the military. Should women be allowed to fight for the country and die for the country? In my opinion, it depends on the woman. I mean, personally, I would not feel comfortable watching Nancy Reagan and Barbara Bush drive a tank into battle. You see, that's more of a job for somebody like Margaret Thatcher. Or maybe Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies. Somebody who's into that. But the separation of people by race and sex and sexual preference is ridiculous. For instance, the American military recently banned homosexuals from the military. What are they afraid of? Gay people are good people. Gay people don't bother anybody. As a matter of fact, I think they should have more gay people in the military. We'd probably have a lot less war. Think about it. Captain. I couldn't shoot him, Captain. He was gorgeous. Would have been a crime to kill that man, sir. In the walls of addiction, folks, cocaine, give me a break, will you? Cocaine, folks? Cocaine is 5 times more expensive than gold, folks. And you can't even make a watch out of it. I tried. It's impossible. But why don't we just boycott cocaine, folks? What has cocaine ever done for any of us? What, you do a few lines, you stay up all night talking to people you don't even like about your childhood. Why don't we just boycott it? People say to me, Jim, if you boycott cocaine, that'll hurt the economies of Bolivia and Colombia and Peru. You want to help the economies of Bolivia, Colombia, and Peru? Drink coffee. $1.45 a pound. $6, you can stay up for a month. Go wake your parents up in the middle of the night. You never let me play Little League. And then people say, well, Jim, coffee happens to be a very addicting drug also. Yeah, but there's a big difference. Nobody ever killed anybody in this country over, like, a large regular. Drug gangs hanging out in front of Dunkin' Donuts. Give me the bag. Give me the bag. Now the sweet and low. The Supreme Court, during this whole war on drugs thing, the Supreme Court ruled that alcoholism is not a disease. It's willful misconduct. I'm saying alcoholism is willful misconduct. Addiction is willful. I don't know if I can agree with this one, folks. I mean, some guy lost his house, his wife, his kids, his car, his family, his friends, his job, his prestige. He's passed out in the middle of the street, throwing up on himself, holding up traffic. You think he's sick? Stubborn. Extremely willful. When that wall came down, though, people were psyched. Last December, people were talking about a peace dividend in the country. More money for schools and hospitals and the infrastructure of America. People were psyched. And democracy was spreading, and people were talking about their problems. And Bush surveyed the whole situation and said, the time is perfect to take Panama. I said, Panama? What courage? What are you going to take next? Gilligan's Island? Now, the situation in the Middle East, it's not a happy situation. It's a horrible situation. I hope Bush does the right thing. I'm praying for the guy to do the right thing. I was in Scotland when this happened, August 2nd. And I was hoping for the president. All right, national honors at stake. I hope he does the right thing. I turn on the television set. He's golfing. I'm going, Jesus Christ. Mr. President, we are on the verge of war. Could you come in the house? Could you put down the putter? Oh, boy, and I'm not sticking up for Hussein, but Hussein's a madman. He's a madman, I'm not sticking up for Hussein by any means, folks, but it wasn't that long ago, we were supporting this guy in the war with Iran. Maybe 6 months ago, he's a stern leader, he's a straight talker, he's a stabilizing force in the Gulf. Yesterday, he's foaming at the mouth! He's Hitler reincarnated! He's got chemical weapons! How do you know? We sold them to him! And I was trying to figure out, right? Why we couldn't have some sort of international gun control, I think the reason is we can't have gun control in this country. For instance, Congress, our leaders voted against the proposal to have a national 7-day waiting period to buy a gun. Now, folks, I don't want to sound like a Quaker, but when you think about it, is a week a long time to wait to see if the former mental patient is qualified to own an Uzi? Hey, I'm an American, I pay my taxes, I'm in an argument, I want a gun, I want it now. Just hold on, pal, just hold on. You're going to have to fill out some forms, you're going to have to wait at least a week for the gun. A week? The guy will be gone in a week. Well, that's the point. I mean, a 7-day waiting period to buy a gun, Congress is against it. Come on, will you Congress, for crying out loud? It takes about 3 weeks to get a phone. I mean, I was down in Florida recently. This is the same state that classified Two Live Crew's music as being obscene. Kind of interesting. This is the same state where a convicted felon walked into a gun shop, legally bought an automatic weapon, snapped, and wiped out 11 people. What do they close? The record stores. Now, folks, I'm not a big fan of obscenities during rock and roll or rap music, but when's the last time anybody in this country died from, an obscenity to the upper torso? You suck! Oh. We've got the body right here, Captain. Apparently he was hit with a sexual innuendo to the chest. And they want to put the warning labels on the record albums. Hey, you want to save lives in this country? Put the warning labels on the guns. Warning, don't use on yourself or anyone else. And the Mapplethorpe photos, we don't have enough problems in this country without digging up an obscure photograph on the Lower East Side of Manhattan taken in 1973. Jesse Helms, he was all upset. Look, federal money going for naked men. It's obscene. It's obscene. All of a sudden, naked men are obscene. It's kind of interesting. For about 100 years, photographs of naked women have been considered entertainment for naked men. Kind of interesting. I think it's kind of funny, folks. I saw one of those Mapplethorpe photos, It was a picture of a man with a bullwhip in his rectum. Now, to me, that's hilarious. Are there a lot of married couples out there going, honey, that's something we haven't tried. I mean, it's a photograph. It's a picture. It's not like artists are going around the country with federal dollars buying bullwhips and inserting them in unsuspecting people's rectum. I would oppose such a move. But that's how they make it sound. The federal government is giving money to artists. They're buying bullwhips. They're going down to the beaches of Florida. Look, a shark! It's a photograph. It's a picture. We have 250,000 troops in the Middle East ready to go to war, and the leaders of this country talking about flag burning, the obscenity of rap music, and pictures of guys with bullwhips in their rectum. I say, pull the troops out of the Middle East, leave the bullwhip where it is. The way I look at it, folks, if you don't like the Maplethorpe photos, don't go see the display. If you don't like True Live Crew's music, don't buy the album. If you don't, well, it's like if you don't got a bullwhip in your rectum, you got nothing to worry about. But what about the real obscenities, folks, in federal spending? You know, some of the real obscene spending in this country. Like, for instance, I saw this Trident II nuclear submarine, okay? Test a rocket last June. The rocket cost $26 million to build, right? The rocket went up in the air for 4 seconds, did a backflip, landed in the ocean. You know, for 2 mackerel, you can get a dolphin to the exact same thing. B-1 bomber crashed last January. The plane cost $280 million to build. The plane crashed because it did not come equipped with the icer. What? $280 million on a plane to protect North America? No de-icer? Come on, guys. A Volkswagen has defrost. I mean, for $280 million, you would think somebody in Washington might throw in a scraper. How much could a scraper cost the federal government? 50, 60,000? I saw our secret spy satellite go up last June. Our secret spy satellite. Saw it take off on the news. I'm saying, gee, you think the Russians know about our secret spy satellite? Then I came to my senses. Nah, they don't get Channel 4. And the stealth bomber, $530 million for the stealth bomber for a plane that doesn't show up on radar? Folks, if we need a plane that doesn't show up on radar that bad, why doesn't Bush plea bargain with Noriega for a couple of the planes he's been using to smuggle drugs into our country for the last 35 years? They don't show up on radar either, obviously. But the thing that gets me about the weapons is they're not always that effective. Look at it this way, folks. The Ayatollah took our hostages. He wasn't afraid of nuclear weapons, chemical weapons, planes, tanks, aircraft carriers, none of that stuff. As a matter of fact, the only thing the Ayatollah was ever afraid of was Salman Rushdie's book. Folks, we should be building bigger and better books. That's what we need in this country. And that's what dictators have always been afraid of anyway. All dictators, right-wing dictators, left-wing dictators, the communist countries, historically, they've always been afraid of books, ideas, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press. I mean, historically, a lot of these communist countries have actually put, like, political poets in jail. I'm saying, poets? Excuse me. You're a nation and you feel threatened by poetry? We have a lot of problems in the United States, folks. When's the last time anybody in this room was, like, jumped by poets? I'm not going to Greenwich Village. What are you, nuts? There's poets out there. They're insane. They have pens with feathers coming out of them. They wear berets. They hide in the bushes. They wait till you walk by. They jump out when you're not looking. My love is like a red, red rose. They're not like you and I. They're poets. I'm saying poets. Czechoslovakia put a jazz band in jail. Jazz? That's enough. Get in the cell. Lay the saxophone around here. East Berlin was all upset because kids were hearing rock and roll music through the Iron Curtain. It took Poland 10 years to legally unionize. We're still spending millions of dollars on weapons to combat aggression around the world and to combat dictators, when in reality, the dictators oftentimes are afraid of political poetry, jazz, rock and roll, unions, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. If that's what they're really afraid of, the hell with the guns, attack them with what they're afraid of. Papers, pens, typewriters. A few Berkeley students, a couple of Teamsters. Lou Reed. Lou Reed and Edgar Allan Poe's greatest hits. If that doesn't work, we send over our secret weapon, a big picture of the Pope reading the National Enquirer. With the Maplethorpe photos enclosed. That's right. and they can retaliate. They can invade us with ideas about national health care and affordable housing. Because obviously, that's what we're afraid of. Something for nothing! Ah! Thank God for the changes in Eastern Europe, folks. The wall's down, there's a McDonald's in Moscow. Progress, folks. Well, we can see the Russian threat for what it is, or what it isn't. These people don't want to fight. They want to eat, folks. They're standing in line for fillet of fish, okay? The Russians want to eat, Iraq wants to eat, Iran wants, China wants to eat, El Salvador, the whole world. I'm going to eat after the show, folks. I mean, I hope there's nobody out there that still thinks the enemy is going to sneak into the United States of America in the middle of the night and try to take New York, Los Angeles, downtown Chicago. Don't be ridiculous. Where are they going to park? Thank you very much for listening to me, folks.